Jayonath Bihari Jayonath Madhava Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jashodhana Brajajana Ranjana Jashodhana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Bonachari Yamuna Tira Bonachari Jayora Kunja Bihari Jayora Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radha Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Haribo. Hare Krishna as usual. Today we'll first read from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, and after that we'll recite and discuss shlokas from Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'm sharing the screen first. So, Sri Prabhupada Lilamrita. Prabhupada is discussing the real meaning of going to a sacred place in India. One should go to a sacred place in order to find some intelligent scholar in spiritual knowledge living there and make association with him. Just like my residence is at Vrindavan, so at Vrindavan there are many big scholars and saintly persons living. So one should go to such holy places, not simply to take birth in water. One must be intelligent enough to find some spiritually advanced man living there and take instruction from him and be benefited by that. If a man has attachment for going to a place of pilgrimage to take a bath, but has no attraction for hearing from learned people there, he is considered to be an ass. He laughs. Soeva go khoro. Go means cow and khoro means ass. So the whole civilization is moving like a civilization of cows and asses. Everyone is identifying with the body. Yes, you don't Yes, you want to speak? Woman, in the places known as sacred places. Prabhupada, sacred places, yes. Women, is it sacred places? Prabhupada, yes. Women, isn't it also a fact that there is more magnetism because of the meeting of saints and more advanced people? Prabhupada, oh yes, certainly. Certainly, therefore, the place itself has got some magnetism. Women, yes. And when? Prabhupada, just like at Vrindavan, that is practical. Here I am now sitting in New York, the world's greatest city, such a magnificent city, but my heart is always hankering after that, Vrindavan. Oh, man, yes, loves. Prabhupada, yes, I am not happy here. Women, oh, yes, I know. Prabhupada, I shall be very happy to return to my Vrindavan, that sacred place. But when? Why are you, but then, why are you here? Now, because it is my duty. I have brought some message for you people because I have been ordered by my superior, my spiritual master. Whatever you have learned, you should go to the Western countries and you must distribute this knowledge. So, in spite of my difficulties, all my inconveniences, I am here because I am obliged by duty. If I go and sit down in Vrindavan, that will be good for my personal convenience. I shall be very comfortable there and I will have no anxiety, nothing of the sort. But I have taken all the risk in this old age because I am duty bound. I am duty bound, so I have to execute my duty despite my all inconveniences. An outsider opens the door and hesitantly glances inside. Prabhupada stopping the lecture. Yes, yes, come in. You can come here. Hare Krishna. So, now go to this. So, can everybody see my screen? And
Yes, Prabhu.
okay, thank you. So today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24 and verse 42. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet. Nashto Praesho Bhadreshu Nittam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So, Canto 4, Chapter 24 and verse 42. Namosto Ashisha Mesho Manove Karunatmane Namo Dharmayo Brihate Krishnaya Kunto Medashe Purushayo Puranayo Shankho Jogeshwarayo Cho Namosto Ashisha Mesho Manove Karunatmane Namo Dharmayo Brihate Krishnaya Kunto Medashe Purushayo Puranayo Shankho Yogeshwarayo Cho Namosto Ashisha Misho Manove Karanatmane Namo Dharmayo Brihate Krishnaya Akunto Medose Purushayo Puranayo Shankho Yogeshwarayo Cho. Hare Krishna. So anybody wants to recite can just do that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dandot Pranam.
Namasta Shisham Nisha Manavi Karanatmane Namo Dharmaya Bhihate Krishnaya Akunta Vedasha Purushaya Puranaya Shankha Yogeshwaraya Cha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Namasto Ashishamisha Monave Karanatmane Namo Dharmaya Brihate कृष्णाया कुण्ठमेधसे पुरुषाय पुराणाय सांख्ययोगेश्वराय च Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Pranam. I am also trying.
Yes, Mother, thank you.
नमस्त आशिष मेष मन बेकारणात्मने नमो धर्माय बृहते कृष्णाय कुण्ठमेधसे पुरुषाय पुराणाय शंख योगेश्वराय च. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother. Anyone else?
Can I also try, Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mother. Please continue.
Namasta Ashishamesh Manave Karanatmane Namo Dharmaya Brihate Krishnaya Kunthamedhase Purushaya Puranaya Sankhya Yogeshwaraya Cha. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother. Anyone else? Okay, then we can go for the synonyms. Can anyone please read out the synonyms, please?
I'll try, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Please.
I'll try. Yeah. Synonyms by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nama, offering obeisances, te unto you. Ashi Sam Isha, O topmost of all bestowers of benediction. Manave, unto the supreme mind or supreme Manu. Karana Atmane, the supreme cause of all causes. Nama, offering obeisances. Dharmaya, unto one who knows the best of all religions. Brihate, the greatest. Krishnaya, unto Krishna. Akunta Medase, unto one whose brain activity is never checked. Purushaya, the supreme person. Puranaya, the oldest of the old. Sankhya Yoga Ishwaraya, the master of the principles of Sankhya Yoga. Cha. And thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, can you please continue with the translation as well?
Okay, no problem, Prabhu. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. My dear Lord, you are the topmost of all the bestowers of all benedictions, the oldest and the supreme enjoyer among all enjoyers. You are the master of all the world's metaphysical philosophy, for you are the greatest supreme cause of all causes, Lord Krishna. You are the greatest of all the religious principles, the supreme mind, and you have a brain which is never checked by any condition. Therefore, I repeatedly offer my obeisances unto you. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. And this Bhagavad is also too big. So can anyone start a couple of paragraphs and then other can also continue? Hare Krishna. Yes,
Yeah,
Prabhu,
Prabhu.
please continue.
Go ahead.
Continue. Hare Krishna. Purport Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The words Krishnaya Akunta Medashe are significant in this verse. Modern scientists have stopped their brain work by discovering the theory of uncertainty. But factually, for a living being, there cannot be any brain activity which is not checked by time and space limitations. A living entity is called Anu, an atomic particle of the Supreme Soul, and therefore his brain is also atomic. It cannot accommodate unlimited knowledge. This does not mean, however, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna has a limited brain. What Krishna says and does is not limited by time and space. In Bhagavad Gita 7:26, Lord says, Vedam Samata Titani Vartamani Cha Arjuna Bhavishyani Cha Bhutani Mam Tu Veda Na Kasyana. O Arjun, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all the living entities, but me no one knows. Krishna knows everything, but one cannot know Krishna without being favored by him. Thus, for Krishna and his representatives, there is no question of a theory of uncertainty. What Krishna says is all perfect and certain and is applicable to the past, present, and future. Nor is there any uncertainty for anyone who knows exactly what Krishna says. The Krishna conscious movement is based on Bhagavad Gita as it is, as spoken by Lord Krishna, And for those who are engaged in this movement, there is no question of uncertainty. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. And someone else can read from the next paragraph.
Yes, Prabhu, I can try.
Yes.
Lord Krishna is also addressed herein as Ashisam Isa. The great saintly personalities, sages and demigods are able to offer benedictions to ordinary living entities, but they in turn are benedicted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Without being benedicted by Krishna, one cannot offer benediction to anyone else. The word Manobe, meaning unto the Supreme Manu, is also significant. The Supreme Manu in Vedic literature is Swayambhuva Manu, who is an incarnation of Krishna. All the Manus are empowered incarnations of Krishna. Manantara Avatara. There are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma, 420 in 1 month, 5,040 in 1 year, and 504,000 Manus in the lifetime of Brahma. Since all the Manus are directors of human society, ultimately Krishna is the supreme director of human society. In another sense, the word Manabe indicates the perfection of all kinds of mantras. The mantra delivers the conditioned soul from his bondage. So simply by chanting the mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, one can gain deliverance from any condition.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
And someone else can read the next.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Karanatmani, everything has a cause. The theory of chance is repudiated in this verse. Because everything has its cause, there is no question of chance. Because so-called philosophers and scientists are unable to find the real cause, they foolishly say that everything happens by chance. In Brahma Samhita, Krishna is described as the cause of all causes. Therefore, he is addressed herein as Karanatmani. His very personality is the original cause of everything, the root of everything, and the seed of everything. As described in the Vedanta Sutra 1.1.2, Janmadi Ashya Yata, the absolute truth is the supreme cause of all emanations. The word
Yes.
Sankhya Yogeshwarya is also significant herein, for Krishna is described in Bhagavad Gita as Yogeshwara, the master of all mystic powers. Without possessing inconceivable mystic powers, one cannot be accepted as God. In this age of Kali, those who have a little fragmental portion of mystic power claim to be God, but such pseudo-gods can only be accepted as fools, for only Krishna is the Supreme Person who possesses all mystic and yogic perfections. The Sankhya Yoga system, popular at the present moment, was propounded by the atheist Kapila, but the original Sankhya Yoga system was propounded by an incarnation of Krishna, also named Kapila, the son of Devahuti. Similarly, Daitreya, another incarnation of Krishna, also explained the Sankhya Yoga system. Thus, Krishna is the origin of all Sankhya Yoga systems and mystic yoga powers. Shall I continue? Or?
Yeah, Mother, please finish.
The words Purushasya Puranya are also worthy of special attention. In Brahma Samhita, Krishna is accepted as the Adi Purusha, the original person, or the original enjoyer. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is also accepted as Purana Purusha, the oldest person. Although he is the oldest of all personalities, he is also the youngest of all, or Nava Yauvana. Another significant word is Dharmaya. Since Krishna is the original propounder of all kinds of religious principles, it is said, Dharmam tum sakshat bhagavat pranitam, Bhagavatam 6:3-19. No one can introduce a new type of religion, for religion is already there, having been established by Lord Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna informs us of the original Dharma and asks us to give up all kinds of religious principles. The real Dharma is surrender unto him. In the Mahabharata, it is also said, Ya cha veda vido vipra, ya cha yatma vido jnana, ta vadanti mahatmanam, krishnam dharmam sanadanam. The purport is that one who has studied the Vedas perfectly, who is a perfect Vipra or knower of the Vedas, who knows what spiritual life actually is, speaks about Krishna, the Supreme Person, as one Sanatana Dharma. Lord Shiva therefore teaches us the principles of Sanatana Dharma.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you. Thank you everybody who has read it up. So you can, it's a very long purport. Anyway, so Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namo Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupo Kadamahyam Dadati Isha Padantikam Vande Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Shobana Raghunathan Nitam Tam Sajivam Sadhaitam Sapadhutam Parijanam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahavan Lalita Sri Vishakanitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Pancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyo eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Rupadanugami Sri Shubha Goswamini Sada Danyashiri Shubhagaya Sarva Jiva Pipaptoe Guru Shiksha Sadacharo Palapaya Namustute Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirbishesha Shunyavadi Pashyakta Deshotarini Namo Mahabodhanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurotishe Namo Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pongom Langayati Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Sri Guru Dina Taranam. Hare Krishna everybody and welcome to you all in this morning class of Srimad Bhagavatam. Although I am not qualified, but I am doing this service as I have been instructed to undertake this service. And it is an opportunity for me to purify myself. And I beg you all for your mercy to please bless me so that I can properly glorify Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Now, we know that this is a part of the slokas we have recited is a part of the Rudra Gita. And the background of this topic is that when all the Prachetas or the 10 sons of Prachin Burhi very seriously accepted the words of their father, and they were keeping these words in their head. They went towards the west to execute his father's order, and while traveling, they came across a great reservoir of water or lake. And it has been said that this lake was as big as an ocean, and the surrounding, and when they came near to it, they were captivated by the beauty of this lake. There was a festive-like surrounding and orderly musical sound, and they saw Lord Shiva emerging from the water with his associates. And as soon as the Prachetas saw the Lord Shiva, they immediately offered their obeisances in great amazement and fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord. And Lord Shiva was very pleased by seeing the Prachetas and blessed them. And Lord Shiva is a part of his prayer. This is called Rudra Gita, and this verse is one of the part of the prayers, one verse of the prayers, in other words. So a few points of that. If we look at the purport where Prabhupada is told, the few. I'm just reading the translation. Translation. There it says, "You are the top, my dear Lord. You are the topmost of all bestowers of all benediction, the oldest and the supreme enjoyer among all enjoyers, You are the master of the world's metaphysical philosophy. You are the supreme cause of all causes, Krishna, and you are the greatest of all religious principles, the supreme mind. You have a brain which is never checked by condition. Therefore, I repeatedly offer obeisances unto you. And it is a Ashisham. So some of the qualities I've just noted and I will discuss on them. The first one is Ashisham Isha, the topmost bestower of all benedictions. This is one of the qualities of the Supreme Lord. And similarly, Karanatmane, he the supreme cause of all causes. He is the supreme cause of all causes. There is no other cause for him, but every causes comes from him. So he is the supreme cause of all causes. And Dharmaya Vihoti, the greatest man, the greatest person who knows the best of all religions. Akunto Medose, one whose brain activity is never checked. And Purushaya and Puranaya, the oldest and the supreme person. And Shanko Yogeshwaraya, the master of the Shanko Yoga principle. Now, the way I am discussing it, it may not be in the same order, but it will cover ultimately all of them to the extent possible. The time is very short because the purport itself was too big. So we know the Lord Brahma was born out of the transcendental body of the Lord, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and Lord Shiva was born out of the body of the Brahma. So Lord Vishnu, therefore, he is the supreme cause because Brahma came from him and Lord Shiva came from Brahma. So in the beginning, there was only Vishnu, Narayana, and there is no Brahma and Shiva. And similarly, Vasudeva Krishna is therefore the cause of all causes, or everything that exists emanates from him. In Bhagavad Gita 10.2, Lord Krishna says, Aham Adihi Devana. That means he is again telling that I am the oldest Adit, and the oldest or the oldest person from which everything has come. Again, in later part of that same chapter 10.8, Krishna also states that Aham Sarvasva Prabhavo. That is, everything generated from me. He is the root, and like the root of a tree, the whole tree stands on its root, all the branches, leaves, everything, fruits and everything remains stands on the root. Similarly, Lord Krishna is the root of all things, and he maintains everything, and in this material manifestation also. And the same thing is also mentioned in different places. Some of the mentions I am just mentioning. One is in Taittiriya Upanishad, Prabhupada is mentioned in the Bhagavad, that Ato va imani bhutani jayante. The Supreme Lord is that from which everything is born. And similarly in Katha Upanishad it says, Nitto nittanam chetanas chetananam eko bhaunam vidadati kaman. That means he is the prime eternal among all eternals, and he is the supreme living entity of all living entities. He alone is maintaining life. And similarly, in Brahma Sutra, it is also told, and in Srimad Bhagavatam also in first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Janmadhyasya Yata, everything is generated from the Lord Vishnu, and everything is maintained by him, and everything is really, and when everything is annihilated at the time of proloy, he remains. That means he was existing before, he is present at the moment, every time, always, and he will also remain when everything goes into dissolution by his own energy. And similarly in Brahma Samhita, the first verse also says that 5.1 in other words, the Ishvaro Paramo Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadi Radi Govinda Sarvo Karana. There also says he is the cause of all causes, Sarvo Karana. So Krishna or the Govinda, he is the supreme Godhead, and is the eternal blissful body, is description of his body. But the final last part, it says that he has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all causes. And to give an example, in a very simple way, just as I can say that I was caused by my father, and my father was caused by his father or my grandfather, and he was caused by his father, my grandfather was caused by his great-grandfather. So in this way, if we go on searching, and we can ultimately come that the one person who has no cause, and he is Anadi Radhi Govindu, that is the Lord Krishna. That means he is the source of from which everything is come, and he is the cause of all causes. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, in 2.9.33 also, Lord says that Aham eva shom eva gre najnachot shodashot param paschadaham jodetacho yo vashishit shoshmyaham. It means that the I, the personality of Godhead, was existing before the creation, when there was nothing but myself, nor there was material nature, the cause of the creation. He is the cause of the creation. And in this way, we find that, and it also says, at the end of annihilation, he also remains. Now, the second part is, he is the bestower of the best benediction, Ashisha Misho. So we find that whenever the Lord gives the benediction, that is often best. I'm giving a few examples. Giving an example so you can understand it very easily. When we know the story of Vashmashur. Vashmashur was a devotee of the Lord Shiva, and he performed great penances to obtain a boon from Shiva. And as a result of his penance and great devotion, the demon this demon, it was Mahadev, he was pleased and told him, ask for a boon. And he asked for immortality. And Lord Shiva told, yes, no, sorry, I cannot give you grant of immortality to you, because even that I cannot give. So he asked for any other boon. Then he told him, I sought from you the power to burn into ashes anybody on whose head I place my hand. You see the quality of things he's asking for, and what he will do with that. He will just misuse it. But Lord Shiva was so easily pleased, and that is why his name is Ashuto. He is pleased so quickly, very easily, and he granted him the boon. And what was the result of that? And he utilized it. Vashmashur tried to utilize it against Lord Shiva himself. So there is a greater problem, and Shiva was running, and subsequently, from the story, we know that it is Vishnu who came as a small child and somehow convinced him not to do this, and this may not, because Shiva was telling the Shiva word should not be taken so seriously, and he ultimately placed his own hand on it, on his head, and he was burned into ashes. So this is the result of an example of when a person material benediction given to a person, what is the result of that? But this doesn't, and similarly, Lord Brahma gave benediction to Hiranyakashipu, and Hiranyakashipu also asked for immortality. When Brahmaji expressed his inability, like Lord Shiva, he told Hiranyakashipu was clever enough. He tried to ensure that he gets immortality by different roundabout way or indirect way. He wants to become immortal. And he asked for whatever he asked for. He asked for, let me not meet death or many living entities created, because all living entities are created by Brahma. He told he should not be killed by any living beings created by Brahma. He will not die in the residence or in the outside, or during the daytime or nighttime, or in the ground, neither in the ground nor in the sky. In other words, he wanted to ensure immortality indirectly. But when Lord Narasimhadev appeared and killed him to protect Prahlad Maharaj, that he fulfilled all the conditions. In other words, God, Supreme Personality, knows all, as you will see, as is mentioned in the purport. Vedaham Shamaditani. The Lord knows what has happened in the past, so he knows exactly what has happened in details. So he fulfilled all the condition and killed him. And as against these two benediction given by Brahma and Lord Shiva, let us see what is the benediction given by the Lord to Prahlad Maharaj. And when Narasimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu, he was very angry at the time because so much torture was going on Lord Prahlad and in the creation there was so much disorder created by Hiranyakashipu. And so when he killed him, everybody tried to pacify it, but everybody was afraid to approach him, seeing his very angry condition. And even Mata Lakshmi was also afraid to approach Lord. And so Lord Brahma told Prahlad Maharaj to approach to Narasimhadev. And Narasimhadev, when approached him, Prahlad approached Narasimhadev, he was not fearful because he knew he is a devotee of the Lord, and he was able to know that he is no one else but his Prabhu, or to whom he praises or offer his prayers. So he was not afraid. And subsequently, when he was pleased when Prahlad Maharaj approached him and he touched his head, and at that moment he got the Brahma Jnana, the spiritual knowledge. And when he got the spiritual knowledge offered to him, subsequently at a later stage, Narasimhadev wanted to bestow benediction to Prahlad Maharaj. One after he told him, you ask for a benediction, I can give you anything. But Prahlad Maharaj, because he has been enlightened by the Brahma Jnana, or the spiritual knowledge, he did not ask anything. He told that, Lord, I am not a businessman, that I have done this service and I want something in return. So this is the condition. This is the real knowledge of a pure devotee. He understands that whatever material benediction is given to a person, it is a binding for him in this material world, and he doesn't want that, because that will only obstruct his going back to the to approach to come near to the Lord. Just as if we give as an example, if we just examine, even Dhruva Maharaj was given a material benediction, and he enjoyed this material kingdom for 36,000 years. But if we look a bit in another way, he was delayed to go to the Lord for 36,000 years. So that is the knowledge a pure devotee always keeps in mind, and that's why Prahlad Maharaj did not ask anything. And when the Lord was insisting him that I want to give you some benediction, then he told, okay, in that case, you give me that I should never be induced to take any benediction for the sake of material desire. In other words, you give me the benediction that I never asked for any material benediction. That was his desire. So as soon as normally one is attracted for material attachment, he goes. It is an impediment for him for approaching the Lord, because the Lord is supremely pure, and the material benedictions are obstruction for reaching to the Lord. And so Prahlad Maharaj accepted whatever the Lord was. Subsequently, of course, Prahlad Maharaj was given by the Lord that when he asked for subsequently for that his father was killed, and he was so much, he had done so much sin that he should be. So then Lord Narasimhadev told him that in a family where a pious person like you was born, for 21 generation, they are purified. So that is the kind of benediction that Supreme Lord can give, and that is why he is called the bestower of the best benediction. Whatever he gives, he knows what is the best for him, and he knows the past, he knows the present, he knows the future. So what is best for a devotee, no one knows better than the Lord, and Lord awards him the best benediction for his devotees. And now, and now another one, another quality that we are discussing is he knows the best religion, dharma of jyoti. In the present days of Kali Yuga, or the days we are passing in now, if very few people really have good idea about the actual religious principle. And in fact, the principle of religion is already established by the Lord. So religion is not a new thing that one has to search for it. It is already established by the Lord. And Prabhupada is also mentioned in the Paput also. And in 1619 it is mentioned in Bhagavatam that Dharma tu shakshat bhagavan pranitam navoi vidu rishayo napi deva no siddha mukha asura manusha kuto no vidyadhara charanadayo. The real principles are enacted by the Supreme Lord. Therefore, so, and I am now telling you one, everybody knows the story, that when Ajamila was chanted the name of Narayana, and the Jamadutas came, they were prevented by the Vishnudutas Vishnudutas stopped him and to take him to the Jamalok. And at that time, the Jamadutas has told the Vishnudutas that, and the Vishnudutas asked, what you are doing? Then Jamadutas said that Veda pranihito dharma. That means religious principles are the principles enacted by the Vedic literature. So we are doing that. Then subsequently, we will tell it subsequently what happened. Everybody knows it. But the point here I am trying to say is that Veda pranihito dharma is apparently it is correct, but at the same time it is not properly correct in the sense, because we have to understand what is inside the state, what is inside the Vedas. Because the religious principle, or by just following the Veda, there is mention of the ritualistic ceremonies, and a lot of people thinks that by performing these ritualistic activities, they can go to a higher planet, and that is the message of the Vedas. But in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was being told by Lord Sri Krishna that in 242, he was saying, he told the word that Yamimam Pushpitam Vacho Pravadanti Abhivashtito Vedavadharata Vartho Nannodostiti Vadina. Some people say that there is no other things other than enjoyment. So, and they look at the flowery language of the Vedas, and they do it, and they say there is nothing other than that. But it is not the proper message, the proper understanding of the Vedas for the religious, for understanding the religion. And that's why in the verse 245 he says, you have to go beyond this. And in fact, Lord, as we are told, has already established the religious principle, where he has stated that in 15:15 of Bhagavad Gita, he clearly states, that means all the purpose of the Veda is to know the Lord and to surrender to him. That is the message of the Dharma. Dharma is not just performing certain ceremonies and certain things, but all the purpose of the Dharma is to know the Lord and to surrender to him and get his love and the love of the Godhead. That is the message of the Dharma. And similarly, we can the story I was talking about, the Jamadutas who came, when the Jamadutas went back to Jamraj, then they were told by the Jamraj was telling them what is the purpose of the religion. He was telling that he was explaining, it is mentioned in 6, 3, 20 and 21 of Srimad Bhagavatam, where it says that Shambhu Narado Shambhu Kumaro Kopilo Manu Prahlado Janako Bhishmo Bolir Vaya Shokir Vayam Dado Shaite Vijanimo Dharmo Bhagavatam Bhata Guhyam Vishuddham Durbodham Yam Gyatta Amritamoshmute, Gyatta Amritamoshmute. And here, the first the 620 is only telling of the 12 Mahajanas, and he has given the name, the Swayambhu Narado, Shambhu, is that the Lord Brahma, Narada, and Shiva, and Kumaro Kapila Manu, 4 Kumaras, and Lord Kapila, and Prahlad Maharaj, as you have told, Swayambhu Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, and Janak Maharaj, and Vishnu, grandfather Vishnu, and Boli Maharaj, and Shukdev Goswami. And he is telling, Yamaraj is telling to his Jamdutas that these, my dear servants, he is telling, the transcendental religious principle, which is known as Bhagavad Dharma, is to surrender on the Supreme Lord and love Him, is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. And here he has mentioned the contents of Dharma is Guhyam, Vishuddham, and Durvodham. Guhyam, Vishuddham, Durvodham, Jatgattam. So it is very confidential, and also it is pure. It is only pure person can attain the love of Godhead. And Durvodham is very difficult. By difficult, one may say it is very difficult. So how, what is the point of them trying to, because it is very difficult. By that, Durvodham, it is telling that you have to learn from a person who has learned it properly. That means you have to follow the parampara system. And and learning from the parampara system is the most important aspect of our religion, learning religious principle. Because unless we learn from a parampara, the knowledge is likely to be contaminated, and through contaminated knowledge, we cannot get we cannot get the purest love of God, who is supremely pure. So Sampradaya, if I can remember, when a mantra comes from a bona fide Sampradaya, it becomes very powerful. If I can remember, I think is Manoviram Prabhu the other day, he was talking about a week ago like that. He told that when a mantra comes from a proper spiritual master and the parampara, it has got a potency, and that potency is missing when we do not follow a parampara system. And in this way, if one doesn't follow a parampara system, it is quite likely his effort will be futile, and he cannot get the proper religious, he cannot get purify himself and cannot reach the supreme abode of the Lord. So, or in other words, Sampradaya being, we should be careful not to get involved for those who are new, I'm talking about, not outside, not here, but those who are still not taken the mantra from their religious, from their spiritual masters. They should be very careful and must ensure that they are from a bona fide parampara. And now the last one is about the Supreme Purush, or the oldest person. I think by what we have discussed, it is already covered in the sense that in Srimad Bhagavad, in Brahma Samhita, the Lord Brahma has prayed to Supreme Lord in 533. He stated, Advaitam Achyutam Manadyanantarupam Addam Purana Purusham Navajogunam Cha Videshu Durlabam Sudurlabam Atma Bhakto Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Vayami. So here also is stated, he is the Anadi, he is the oldest person, Anadi, Advaitam Achyutam Anadi. Anadi means who has no beginning. So he is the oldest person. There also it is being confirmed. And at the same time, he is the oldest person, but Nava Yogunam Cha. But his body is always young and like a youth, as Prabhupada said, like 16 years old boy. We have never seen a picture of Lord Krishna in an old body. That means he is always youthful in his body, and that is the quality of the Lord. Although he is the oldest person, but he is always youthful, and he is the supreme person, as we have discussed, that everything comes from him. So he is the cause of all causes. So he is the supreme person, and So if we surrender to him, as we discussed, when we are in the proper right track, and we can go back to him or his abode when we do it in a very pure, by following the religious principle through parampara, and in this way we can make our life successful. And the last one, it's not very important, but again, a few minutes there I can discuss. The master of Shanko Yoga, the Shanko Yogeshwaraya. The Lord is, the Krishna is Yogeshwar, as is mentioned in even Sanjay, the last verse of Bhagavad Gita, 1870s. Yatro Yogeshwaro Krishna, Yatro Partho Dhanurdharo. In this way, Sanjay is also describing Lord as the Yogeshwar. I mean, he is the master of all yogos. So, because he is the most knowledgeable person, so he is the Yogeshwar, there is no doubt about it. And here, Shanko Yoga also, he is the master. And in this age of Kali, people have very little mystic. Prabhupada has told those who have got very little power, this is nothing but a fractional glimpse, a fractional spark of the Lord. They claim themselves to be God, but we should not be fooled by their claims. We should always remember that only the Supreme Lord is the Yogeshwar, and anything one is, if there is a reflection of that, it is only if it is reflected in a person, or the qualities, some qualities visible to a person, it has come from the Lord only, and not from that person. The moment Lord takes away, it is gone. So this is the temporary reflection, but not the original. But the original source is the Lord. So, and another thing Prabhupada has mentioned here, the Shanko Yoga, the popular Shanko Yoga that is being atheistic people like Kapila as in the present day it is in use, but the original Shanko Yoga was propounded by Lord Krishna and Kapil Muni, Kapila, and was the son of Devavati and Kardam Muni. And similarly, Dattatreya, another incarnation of Lord Krishna, also explained the Shanko Yoga system. So Krishna is really the origin of all Shanko Yoga system, or the mystic yoga powers. So that Prabhupada has explained. And so with that, I have already taken a couple of minutes more. So with that, I am finishing. If anybody has got any realization, any comments, or any mistakes, if I have committed, please point me out. I am happy to learn from you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat.
Thank you very much for such an elaborate explanation. Some of the points are so important to understand. That is to retrospect that we have already read through or known through. That is qualities of the Lord. How you explained so nicely about their Karana Karanam, then Ashisham Isha, Dharmaya Priyate, and then Yogeshwara. So these are the qualities of Lord Krishna. He is the supreme, and you have nicely been explained the root. Root is the source of the tree. These are the branches as the qualities of the Lord. But the main thing is the root. When the root is perfect, which is the source of everything, so everything falls in place. So the qualities of the Lord is all inbuilt, and He displays all these qualities just for our knowledge to understand His greatness. How we understand is the source of everything. So Lord Shiva was explaining to the 10 prachetas that whatever you think of Krishna is the source of everything. Everything comes from him, as Bhagavad Gita 10:8 says. So this we to understand, Krishna is the source of everything. Everything comes from him only. We just enjoy the sources because by connecting him. So that is the knowledge is trying to spread out to the Prachetas. Thank you so much for enlightening such a beautiful examples to understand the qualities of the Lord. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu,
Hare
for your
Krishna.
kind explanation and kind coverage of this verse. So it's such a very elaborate purport, but so nicely you emphasize the key points and the key learnings from it. So thank you so much for doing that. Thank you, Prabhu.
Anyone else?
If there are no further comments or realizations, then maybe we can bring the class to a close. Thank you so much for the class today, Prabhu.
Kripa sindhu
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो
पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
जय।
हिज
His
ग्रेस
Grace
अभय चरण प्रभु
Charan
की
Prabhu की
जय।
जय।
शिला प्रभुपाद की
की
जय।
जय।
गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि
हरि
बोल।
बोल।
All glories to assembled devotees.